Hello everyone, welcome to Timeless Flux. My name is Sabini, and today we're here to answer the question, what social skills am I learning right now? This question is meant to address those moments in life in which we feel like no matter the challenge we've been experiencing, they are all pointing us to a certain lesson. So sometimes we feel like, okay, I'm most certainly learning how to be more flexible right now. I'm most certainly learning how not to trust only the discourse when it comes to people, and to pay more attention to their actions than to their words, for example. And we are going to try to address what is it that you're specifically learning right now when it comes to other people. In order to do that, I'm going to use these beautiful cards from the Timeless Flux Oracle. They are all from the same suit. So if you've been listening to my videos, following my videos, you know that the Timeless Flux Oracle is an oracle I've channeled myself. It is divided into 5 suits that I personally prefer to call cycles. Okay, so this cycle is the Circus Cycle, and it's very appropriate when we discuss our connection and also our adaptation challenges when it comes to the social system, because this representation here of this circus, as you can see, it is in Portuguese. I'm Brazilian. This representation is referring to a sentence that goes, a Latin sentence that goes, panis et circenses. I don't know if you've heard about this before, but it talks about how somehow, sometimes we feel like there's a social system that constrains us in very specific ways, with whatever should be done, whatever has to be done, whatever is the socially correct manifestation of certain human actions. So panis et circenses is referring to how sometimes governments and anyone that might be in charge of society as we understand it, they try to to control, to manipulate, and to make people feel calmer, etc., and not contradict whatever they're proposing in political terms by offering people bread and circus. Panis et circenses reads bread and circus, translates as bread and circus. What does it mean? That you only need to keep people fed and to offer them some kind of diversion, represented by the circus in this case, so that they forget there's a whole political scenario going on, and that each decision we make, even decisions related to the kind of facade we're going to show to the world at each specific moment, all of these things, they are political in the most basic sense of this world. They are all ideological decisions, because in its final instance, there's no right or wrong for what you do, and there's always the golden rule of treating others the way we'd like to be treated, but there are a lot of different variables from which you could consider this golden rule, and you could go about it in your life. Okay, so so it's like a panis et circenses is talking about manipulation strategies that sometimes prevent us from seeing our true self and how far we could expand in terms of social action. Putting it in very simple terms, it's talking about not changing your hair because this hairstyle is not considered to be trendy, or maybe because you even think that you could be reproached somehow at work if you did so, the kind of clothes you wear, if this is adequate or not adequate. A lot of these things are not things that we consider all the time, because they seem to be the status quo. They seem to be how human beings need to behave and act in society, so they can really constrain our action. That's why I've chosen this suit and this cycle to talk about whatever you might be learning right now in terms of social skills, because all of its cards are going to address a certain specific issue that is considered to be normal, fruitful, the real way all human beings should go about things in life, and that may present some kind of challenge to you and might even need to be deconstructed. Okay, so the way this reading is going to go is very simple. You have to choose a number from 1 to 5. And of course, if you've been seeing lots of 1s or numbers that reduce to 1, like 10, if you've been seeing a lot of 2s, 3s, 4, 5s, you can most certainly consider this a sign of the universe that this is the reading you should be watching right now, because there is already a connection between you and this number. But if this is not the case, then you can go with your intuition, and we'll have the timestamps for each of the options below, okay, so you can follow straight into your reading. So with no further ado, if you have chosen your number, we're going to start with the reading for number 1. And number one is actually bringing this card here, the bubbles. Okay, so if you've chosen number 1, this is your reading, and it's represented by the bubbles card. With the bubbles card, you see this huge bubble here right in the center, and a lot of different bubbles at a greater distance, but they are all part of the same spiral. And the sentence goes, one bubble bursts and there follow all the others. Okay, so one bubble bursts and all the others follow. Better translating, because this is in Portuguese. They are in a spiral here in this representation, because they are pinpointing the fact that when we have a dream, it's not normally coming out of nowhere. It's normally related to other different dreams we had, and it comes as a response, a reaction to some events in our lives. That's why they're here in this spiral. It's like the dream, whichever dream is central here, could actually burst and create a chain of events that's going to impact other even smaller dreams you have. And probably this dream is occupying the center of your attention here now, because there was some dream that, you know, has been manifested, or maybe it didn't pan out the way you think it would, and led you to an understanding that, okay, so this is my next logical step. Maybe in order to achieve something out of a dream that originally didn't give you what you wanted, or maybe even because you achieved exactly what you wanted and now there's nothing left for you to do unless expanding. So there's another interesting thing here when it comes to this card, because it shows us the interconnectedness between what happens to one dream and the other in terms of its manifestation strength too. It's not only that one dream suggests the other and they follow this, you know, progressive lines of things you want in life that are going to be chained one to the other. They can influence each other. It also talks about the fact that consider dreams as bubbles. If this central dream of yours explodes, bursts, it's probably going to cause a chain reaction in which many other dreams in your life are going to be affected. They might even turn from dreams to nightmares. Okay, putting it in practical terms, what social skill are you developing right now? Right now, you're learning how to be flexible about your opportunities and about the match between opportunities and dreams. You're learning that, let's say that this big dream over here is to get your first fixed job, your first 9-to-5 job, okay? You probably already had many other dreams, like finishing college so that you could get a degree, or maybe a technical course so that you could get a certificate that allowed you to have this 9-to-5 job, okay? But now it's very, very hard for you to get the job. We're in the midst of a crisis, and most of the job interviews are being done at a distance online, and this is not something that you feel comfortable with. So the dream you had before, and the time you actually put in the construction of this dream of finishing your technical course, finishing your college course, getting a degree, whatever, this is kind of like you did that because you wanted to have a 9 to 5 job, but maybe according to the opportunities you have right now, this is not what's going to happen, which does not mean that your technical course or your degree are not going to be useful in the construction of a different dream. Sorry, people, different dream. So why is it related to the circus card and the whole social skill thing? Because as I've said in the introduction, I don't know if you skipped that, the contextualization about these cards. In order to manifest our dreams, I know that it's important to have a clear intention and to have a bright image about how we're going to achieve them, and to sometimes position ourselves in the situation as if we were already there, feeling like the way we want to feel when we get there, etc. But practically, we need the assistance of other people, and we need the assistance of the context, the environment. We need other people to believe in our dream too, and to think that it is important. And it's very probable that our dream is going to be more important to us than to any other person, okay? Because we're the ones pursuing it. So it's very important to be flexible when it comes to opportunities, because maybe your technical course was something related to hairdressing, for example. I don't know why I'm giving so many hair related examples today, but let's see that you're a hairdresser right now, and you took the course, etc., because you wanted to work at a given salon, but maybe now this is an opportunity for you to think about your own service, more, entrepreneurial service of, hairstyling, of offering people a completely different way of styling their hairs with your own touch to it. That could even be better than having a 9 to 5 job, even if everyone around you says that this is the safer way to go, or this is what's going to, justify the fact that you have, that your course, your technical course, was not a poor investment. So this card is inviting you to develop flexibility when it comes to your contacts with other people, your communication with other people. And it's also inviting you to understand the interconnectedness between dreams, okay? It's probably harder for you if you're trying to achieve something now that seems really out of reach. It's harder for you to muster the strength and follow this path, because you already feel like your dreams, they all had this certain direction, and it's now like you found a block in the way that you really don't know how to circumvent, so be careful not to enter the attitude or the energy of everything that I've done was useless. All of the other dreams I had, they were not real dreams. Everything that I thought I had accomplished so far, I was simply crazy thinking that this could make a difference in my life. Each dream has a value of its own. And it's not true that only because you couldn't follow your chain of events, your pre-planned chain of events in which one dream was going to furnish the base for another, because this chain has been broken, it does not mean that you can't take advantage of what you already have, okay? Another very important thing that you're learning right now is that dreams are meant as bubbles to burst. We would never expand in any sense. We will never learn to be different people, learn new things, or even feel the taste of adventure in our lives if we didn't outgrow our dreams. So maybe if something is not working right now in the sense of a dream you may have focused on right here, it's in the center of your attention. Maybe if something is not working, it means that you have all outgrown this dream. It's no longer big enough to furnish the base, the scope, the structure for whatever you need to learn right now. Okay, maybe you're simply attached to this dream because you've been focusing so much attention on it for so many years, okay, or maybe even for your whole life, that you cannot realize you have already changed into a person that would for you right now. It's like this dream is no longer enough in terms of expansion, okay? Maybe you need bigger dreams, you need more expensive dreams, you need to think bigger, like people say. So this also leads us back to flexibility. It's not only flexibility when it comes to what the world is telling you right now or presenting you with right now, flexibility in terms of opportunities, not letting go of opportunities. Let me take a sip of water here. Not letting go of opportunities or thinking that opportunities are too small just because they are not fitting your dream. Maybe your dream is too small, okay? Or maybe it's not yet the time, it's not in divine timing for this dream to happen right now. Maybe you need one extra step when it comes to manifesting the best version ever of your dream, okay? I'm going to give you another example that I hope helps. Let's say that you wanted a certain product of yours. Let's say that you work with products, selling products. You wanted a certain product of yours to be the product that was going to lead your business to a different place, okay, to the next level. And it's not happening. So maybe it means that you need to work on infrastructural issues related to distribution, marketing, and whatever. And then the fact that this is not working, the fact that this bubble has burst, is going to impact many other dreams you have, because you're going to I don't know, you have the dream of being this huge product distributor, huge in terms of marketing, and the fact that this dream is not working is going to show you that you really need better infrastructure. So take the lesson. Or maybe you wanted and you still want to go to get to that next level when it comes to your business, but this product is too small for you to reach it. So it's going to take your mind to a different place. It's like, I thought this kind of product could take me to the next level, but this is not really what my company is about. This is not really what my business is about. And I have to rethink my whole strategy. Thank you, universe, for this lesson. So in any case, you're learning about flexibility. You're learning to be flexible when it comes to what you communicate to the world, the way you communicate directly with other people, okay? Maybe people who are very intimate also, because they may have an impact on your dreams. I know I'm talking a lot about dreams that are more of a professional area, because this card also suggests that, but you could make it fit your situation and applying these concepts to a relationship, okay? Because if you're focusing on one person and then this dream bursts, you have an impact in the sense of you're going to see all of the other people around you, the potential with a potential for romantic relationships that maybe you hadn't considered before. And or maybe you would say, okay, there's no one for me because I only wanted this person, and all of the other people, they seem small in comparison. And maybe it's probably the other way around. If this person is no longer in your life, or if this reality is bursting, then probably it was never meant for you, or if it was meant for you to a certain point, okay? And you really need to flexibilize the way you view other potential love partners. So flexibilizing, you're learning how to flexibilize, and that's what I have for you today. I hope this message has helped. If you liked it, please do not forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because it helps my channel like you would not believe. And then I'm moving on to the reading for those who chose the number 2, okay? So if you've chosen number 2, This is your card, and this card is the expected kiss. There are a lot of, it's a very simple card, but there are a lot of very interesting elements when it comes to its symbology over here. So I have a person and a broken heart, okay? And this broken heart kind of comes, kind of drips out of the person's mouth in this almost straight line of spit here, as you say, okay? And what's interesting about the broken heart is that if you look at it closer, it seems like a pair of wings, okay? Which is like from this person's heartache came the ability or the possibility of having their pair of wings. Also, another interesting thing is that this kiss that went south, turned sour and broke this person's heart, okay? This kiss led to the generation of wings, but the sheer expectation of being kissed like that has broadcast its influences in terms of energy to the person's whole life. It's like all you can do is expect this kiss. This kiss is what's going to make your life completely different. If you could only kiss this person, then your life would be turned upside down and for the better tomorrow, okay? There's a sentence that says, it heals, the expected kiss, it heals, but it never comes. So another true thing about this kiss is that deep down inside you already know that this kiss is never going to come. You're never going to kiss this person in the metaphor going on over here, okay? So it heals, but it never comes. It's the only possibility this person sees of healing is kissing like that, but it never comes. Okay, so talking a little bit more about this whole metaphor and symbology thing we have going on here. This could, of course, talk about, in the sense of answering the question, what social skill you're learning right now. This could obviously talk about learning how not to enter codependent relationships with people, romantic codependent relationships, even with narcissists and, you know, the like. Because in this kind of situation, you're always expecting the person to demonstrate affection in a certain way, and deep down inside you already know that this is never coming. This could be talking, of course, about you're learning how to deal with codependency in your life when it comes to romantic relationships, for example. So you could be learning how to avoid any relationship in which there's this eternal promise, because the kiss here is really metaphorical. There's an eternal promise of some kind of, you know, showcasing affection on the part of other people, or, you know, it could even be a kiss, but it could also be you're waiting for this person to obviously demonstrate their affection, to make clear that they really like you, to make it clear that they are really committed to you, and it simply never comes. And deep down inside, you already know that it's not going to come. That's logically, there's nothing pointing to the fact that this person is ever going to change. Change in the sense of opening their hearts to you, okay? But when it comes like that, like what kind of social skill am I learning? It's probably not only talking about romantic situations. You could be actually thinking about a person in your life right now and knowing, okay, yeah, this is exactly what's happening. I'm always expecting more. I don't think that this more I'm expecting is too much. I really just wanted a simple demonstration that this person is committed with me. But the thing is, when this card shows up in a reading like that, it's really saying that this has become a pattern in your life. So maybe you had other people who were trying to teach you this lesson in a way, and I know that it's terrible to learn this kind of lesson, but this could also be referring to work situations, to projects, to, it's anything really that promises something you know that it's very hard to get in this specific situation. It doesn't need to be hard to get or out of reach forever or in any context, but you already know that in this context it's very hard to get, it's never coming, but you stay there because you're telling yourself it heals, it heals. The only thing that would heal my life is if I could achieve this and that. Okay, so to put it in professional terms, it could be like you're always entering the same kind of project, or you're always insisting in a certain area because you've learned when you were a child that this is what you were supposed to be doing, or this is what everyone who is, you know, efficient and professionally successful, this is what everyone is doing. But when you're actually experiencing this kind of project, and when you're actually experiencing this, you know, everything that you're doing in a given area, you feel like, okay, it's too little for me. This is not exactly what I was supposed to be doing, and whatever I want out of this area is not coming. It's actually, it's not available. Okay, but I keep on telling myself that I would heal, I would heal, I would heal if it only came to me the way I want it to come. Okay, so what is this learning process all about? It's about learning that for as long as you stay in the situation expecting things to change or a certain person to change, you won't be able to get your pair of wings, which represent to your expansion to a better version of yourself. But it's also about understanding that this kind of situation is important because sometimes it's the only way we have of understanding that we are worth more. We are more valuable than we normally consider ourselves to be. Because if you're thinking like there's anything external, it could be a person, a relationship, a job, anything. We think that anything external has the power to make us happy, has the power to heal us, then we probably need to work on our self-esteem and on our values when it comes to what we think life is and who we think we are. So sometimes these situations, they happen in our lives just to show us, okay, no, you're enough. Even if you don't have a job, even if you don't have that certain person, or if your relationship with a certain person is not the way you would like it to be and it's causing you suffering, even then you are enough. Okay, there's nothing really that can alter this status. It's not about becoming something different or listening to whatever these people, project may be requiring of you and trying to adapt to what the situation seems to require. Is not this movement that's going to make you feel safer and bring you happiness. It's not this movement that's going to heal you. Healing is a completely different process in which you go within and not really looking for people, things outside, kisses outside that could, fill any kind of void. So the lesson you're learning right now is a lesson on avoiding this kind of pattern of putting yourself in this waiting game when you know whatever you're waiting for is never coming. If you truly listen to your intuition, or if you just manage to find some time to meditate on the whole situation, it's not coming, but you keep yourself there because you see this as the only possibility of healing. Okay, it's also teaching you, because sometimes when we have these patterns, we recognize the pattern, and then let's say this is a romantic pattern. So from relationship to relationship, it's always the same thing. You have an idealized version of a person going on in your head, and then the actual relationship is very different. This person's never showcasing affection. It's never demonstrating how much they love you in the way you expected. And then you go like, oh, relationships are like that. I have so many friends who experience the same. Maybe one day I'll go lucky. Okay, but at a certain point you start realizing that your specific relationships, they have specific patterns that maybe you could do something about it in a way not to suffer anymore. Okay, and this is really tricky and delicate because if you're not careful with what you do to address the problem, you could really shut yourself inside and simply decide that you're never going to give any other person an opportunity of getting to know you, okay? But in any case scenario, it's very different to know that you're following a certain codependent pattern and to actually learn how to act once this codependency manifests in your life. So you could know that a certain kind of person is not good for you, but it could be very hard for you to recognize in the first moments, this is a person that's maybe a narcissist. This is a person that's, triggering me back to, whatever pattern I don't want to reproduce. Because wow, this is high technology. It's something that really just comes through practice and exercise. So you could be in this moment in which you're starting to practice how to construct limits, boundaries that are healthy enough for you, how to give people a chance without, expecting them to change your world completely, how to decide when, how much time you're going to give until promises are fulfilled, if you're going to even listen to promises. Because another thing that's important to consider when it comes to this card is if you're with a person or in a project or at a given area, because one day it might get better, which is sort of the description of a promise, right? If you're anywhere or with anyone just because there's a promise it might get better, then this is not a good strategy. This is never a good strategy. The best strategy would be I am where I am because, okay, things may change and even change for the better, but I'm feeling happy right now. I feel like I'm getting something out of this person or situation right now. I feel good where I am. And if things get better, then this is only an extra benefit. This is only an extra surprise. But I'm really not putting all of my energy in getting there or getting this promise to be fulfilled. Okay? So this is also about realizing that wherever you are, with whomever, it would be wonderful if you could find places, people, situations that were the best situations for you in the present. Of course, things may develop, but if you already started something thinking, oh, this has a lot of potential, if I can do this, and that, then this person's going to change and this project's going to change and one day I'll be happy. If you start at any given enterprise and your mind goes, one day I'll be happy, there's something twisted about it, because it would be best if you started like, I'm happy right now, this is for me right now, so you don't feel like you're losing time. You don't put yourself in this waiting game. This is how we put ourselves in the waiting game. We start considering, no, but one day this is going to be amazing. One day, but if only, this kind of reasoning. You're also learning how not to give in to this kind of reasoning. Maybe in your childhood, everything was a promise that was never fulfilled. It happens, and then when this happens, there's nothing we really can do because we're there with our parents. They are most of the times our sole providers, or any kind of responsible person you had taking care of you during childhood. There's nothing you can do. You can't escape. Some people even escape, but you need to be at least a little bit older until the moment you can escape, and it's sometimes not the best solution. So we end up with these patterns, these standards that say relationships, or the only kind of relationship I know is a relationship that's always promising but never delivering. Okay, so I hope this message helps you think about what you're learning in terms of social skills right now. If you liked it, please do not forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe, because it helps my channel like you would not believe. And then now I'm moving on to the reading for those who chose the number 3. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so if you've chosen the number 3, this is your card, and your card is the Kite. This card is very interesting because what we have here is like this eccentric kite. Their sides are uneven, as you can see, and And it's beautiful in a different way, but it's beautiful. It's the representation of a butterfly, but it really gets my attention how uneven these two sides are, as if this kite needed to, balance itself balance itself in a given situation in order to fly here, by stripping a part of herself and making this side smaller than this side here. So there's something imbalanced about this kite, this is also the reason why this kite is flying at a certain level. Another interesting thing is that the person flying the kite is holding a cord, and this cord here, the movement of this cord this is amazing, because when we look at the movement of this cord, we understand that this person could never be responsible for the movements of the kite. It's like it could be the wind, the environment, the sun, whatever, but this is not why this kite is really flying. Almost as if the person flying the kite, holding the kite, is not actually flying the kite or guiding the kite, okay? Because see, with this movement here, this person may even think that that they are responsible for flying this kite, but this cord needed to be a little bit more straight up tense, so that it would be an actual influence of anything this person does in the flight of this kite, okay? And the sentence goes, so light, so beautiful, but who's holding the kite? This sentence is in Portuguese here, and I'm translating for you. So light, so beautiful, but who's holding the kite? Okay, so let's talk about this metaphor here and the symbology. What you're learning right now when it comes to social skills is how to be responsible for your own plans, and how not to be overly influenced by what other people say and what other people do, or what other people tell you that you should be doing. Why is that? Because the kite in this representation here is you. There's something about your life right now that you need to spread yourself too thin. You need to change basic things about your life. You need to do things that you really don't feel comfortable with, in order to simply keep flying, in the sense of keep going every day, one day after the other, okay? But there's a feeling, it's your feeling, there's a feeling like I'm not responsible for my actions, or I'm not responsible for my life, because everything that I'm doing right now, everything that I have to cope with right now wouldn't even exist if society were not like that, or if people acted in a different way. This could have many different the level of impact of this kind of sentence and this kind of thoughts in your life could have very different ranges of action. So you could be feeling like, if my mother weren't like this, I would have a completely different life, and I wouldn't have to, to act this way that is so out of touch with who I really am. But you could also be thinking about, you could be thinking about a mother, a father, a friend, some very specific group of people, but you could also be thinking about the world in general. It's like, no, I can't really express my sexuality freely. I can't really dress the way I would like to dress. I can't really, use the kind of language that I like to use, maybe swear words, I don't know, because of how society is. So in any case scenario, what's happening is you're living a life that's not a true representation of who you are. And this life it's not only that it's fake, phony, if I say anything like that, but it's also very hard to keep, okay? Because it's not you, it's taking a toll on you. It requires a lot of your energy, and you put a lot of your energy into building this kite-like image, okay? But you really feel like you could be different, or you could only be different if people around you changed, or if the world changed, if a specific group of people changed. Doesn't matter the scope, okay? you really feel this is not in your hands. And as this card shows here, these people are not really flying your kite. When the sentence goes, so light, so beautiful, but who's flying it? Or, yeah, who's holding the kite? Yeah. What this sentence suggests is that there's kind of a collateral gain for you of of returning to the situation all the time, returning to, blaming other people, because you like the feeling of at least moving, at least flying, at least being light and beautiful, even if it's not the kind of balanced beauty you wanted to show to the world in the first place. Okay, so it's hard for you to feel responsible for what's happening in your life right now, but you need to remember that you're actually responsible, even if only for the decision of leaving certain places, people, certain situations, or planning a way out of these situations. You're responsible for at least that. And also it's calling you to examine the benefits that maybe you wouldn't even call like that, but the collateral benefits you have of staying in this situation. It seems to me here, when this card appears, it's always something like it became a comfort zone for you in a certain way. It became a place in which you already recognize yourself and you're really afraid of changing. Let's say you would have to, be a kite in your best version of being a kite, fly in your life in the best version of flight you could ever imagine. It feels like you're a little afraid of that. So you would be afraid of missing the attention of these people, no matter if you're charging them with your lack of freedom, okay? It's like you're attached to this person or people or situation through this cord here, but the cord's not actually deciding your movements, you're deciding your movements, okay? So what you're learning right now, you're learning how to be responsible for your own life. You're learning that these people who seem to be so controlling, and all you ever wanted was for these people to change, or this situation to change, they are not actually impacting on your flight. Okay, you're actually flying solo. You're actually responsible for your flight. And maybe the challenge of changing yourself so much only to be around these people or to fit in this situation is not even necessary, okay? Because you could find people who would be more understandable. You could find situations who would be more comprehensive of who you are. But at this moment, you're really scared of taking the step of understanding, of going in the direction of your freedom, okay? And this is totally understandable. There's always a point in our lives in which we enter this, especially in this society, Western society, we surrender to the pressure of becoming what we think other people want from us. Because it seems to be much easier. It seems to be what everybody else is doing. So we conform to being a kind of kite that's light and beautiful, at least in the eyes of some other people. And it seems better than nothing, okay? But what you're really learning right now is the level of responsibility you have for your own actions. Not only about being a good person or a bad person, not only about I'm not only talking about ethics when I talk about responsibility. I'm talking about the fact that people can actually not impact the way you feel about yourself, okay, if you don't allow them to. You are responsible for the way you feel about yourself. You are responsible for coining the plans and surrendering to the dreams you have for your own life. There's no one in this world that can tell you your dream is not for you, you are not enough for your dream, or you have to do, as I see here in this situation, if you want to follow your dream, you need to be fatter, you need to be thinner, you need to be smarter, you need to be anything that you're not, really. You can always go for the dream. You might get it or not, but it's your responsibility. Okay, and it may be difficult for you, even more difficult than for other people, because society impacts you in a completely different way. We know that different people are impacted socially in different ways, because we have hierarchies for everything, for bodies, for ethnicity, for where it came from, how your upbringing was. We know that, and I'm not saying that this doesn't exist. I'm only saying that you are responsible for your actions. You're not responsible for the reaction of other people. And sometimes when you consider, like, I am adapting because I want, because I need these other people in order to fly. Sometimes when you do this, that's not really what's happening. You're adapting because you're afraid, and understandably afraid, of flying solo. Because everything we do in life, as I said in the introduction, depends on other people at a certain level. We do not depend on other people to have our own dreams and to have our own personality and to know what's right for us. But we depend on other people in terms of affect, and we depend on other people because we will have to negotiate our dreams with other people at any given extent. Maybe it's not, if your dream is not something that you really need a team to go about, then okay, maybe it's easier for you. But at a certain level, at a certain point, you will need to negotiate with someone in order to have your dream manifest in the world. Okay, this is all true. But there are certain moments in our lives in which we even forget our dream, and then we start thinking, this is how I have to live, and this is how I have to dream, because this is what people are requiring of me. And as this situation suggests, not even what they're requiring of me, but also that I couldn't even live if I didn't follow these rules. I couldn't even live or couldn't even dream if I didn't adapt to this situation. Okay, so the sentence is very good, so light, so beautiful, but who is actually flying the kite? The card saying who's flying, the person flying the kite is you. Don't forget that. Think about your own plans. Maybe you can't change everything around you right now, but you could adapt your route considering other people and the situation you're in from a different perspective, the perspective that you're responsible for all of your actions in the end. Okay, so I hope this message has helped. If you liked it, please do not forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because it helps my work here like you would not believe. And then I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Hello, so if you've chosen number 4, this is your card, and it's the shipwreck, and the sentence goes, after the ship went down, what's left of me? There's something very interesting, because these cards are in Portuguese. There's something very interesting in this sentence that's not really translatable, or at least I think it's not translatable. That this is not only about considering what's left of you. This is also about considering what's really left of your personality, as if you were the same person. So instead of seeing the new person you have become due to a certain accident, and it doesn't have to be tragic, but it was something that highly affected you, instead of considering who is being born out of this accident, this circumstance, this unexpected event, you're considering what's left of me, which is totally understandable, because there's a period of mourning we have to go through that is totally non-negotiable. Okay, so every time you lose something, and it could be a very physical loss, it could even be tragic for some of you, but it does not have to be. But anything that we lose that really affects us leads to a period of mourning, okay? Leads to a period of grieving. And this is where I see you right now. So what social skill you're developing right now, you're learning right now? Letting go. Okay? I'm going to talk a little bit more about the symbology in this card so that you can understand what I'm talking about and what it brings to the table. As you can see here, we have a piece of something. This is a part of the ship that could be its chimney, it could be, it could be, it could even be a piece of a bed if there were rooms in the ship. This could be a piece of wood. We don't know what it is really, and it's floating in the ocean, and there's nothing left of the ship for us to see. There's no other piece of wreckage we can recognize. And then together with this sentence, what's left of me, it's like you're feeling like this piece of wreckage here. Instead of considering the new person you have become and the lessons you have learned out of this accident, then you're considering, okay, from the perspective of the person I used to be, what can I still be, or what can I still bring to the world if this accident has, shipped away on so many different aspects of what I knew to be myself. After tragic events, any kind of loss, this situation I'm trying to explain here, it's very common that we have to restructure our personality, and it's very common also that we see ourselves as missing parts of ourselves, in the sense of, for example, if you ended a relationship, it doesn't matter the reason, there are many aspects of yourself that you shared with that other person. These aspects could even be the reason why you had to separate. Okay, if this is the case, it could become even harder for you to still see yourself as possessing these aspects. You were very happy with this other person, and now this person's out of your life. Happiness for you could be described as, I don't know, the way we play games together, the way we used to talk about music, the way we used to go to restaurants, the way we used to, develop that very specific kind of humor that develops with couples, with friends after a long time they're together. Many different aspects, many different very concrete aspects of everyday life that you cannot relieve right now because you are in separation with this person. So obviously we would start to consider, how am I going to live without these aspects? But furthermore, am I even going to feel like that again? What's happiness for me right now if happiness is no longer playing the same games, going to the same restaurants, etc.? It used to be happiness in my life. This kind of action is what used to define happiness in my life when I was with this person. Okay, make it fit your situation. This could be a relationship, this could be a job, this could even be an idea about how things would go that now is no longer on the table, it's no longer available. So you're learning how to let go of that. This is talking about grief. But what's interesting is that you can only overcome this period in your life if you start considering that you're no longer the same person. This is the suggestion of this card. You are feeling like that. You're feeling like a piece of something that used to be whole and now it seems to have broken, and this is what's left of you, when in fact you are a different person. You are no longer the person who used to relate to your old partner, who used to have that job, that used to have that, that idea about how life would work. You're a completely different person. This is all about the present. And this is about learning how to be a person who no longer has the same expectations, the same kind of routine, and the same people in your life. Okay? So something interesting about this card too is that when your perspective shifts and you start seeing like, I am never going back to that place, I am a different person, then you can start listing what's not good, but what's different about you right now. Because whenever we're going through the process of grieving anything or anyone, we normally start having reactions that are very different from the reactions we used to have. So you could find yourself dealing with anger, you could find yourself dealing with lots of sadness. And even when it comes to our strategies to cope with everyday life, you could be doing things that you've never done before. You could be, making your own food if you used to go out to eat every time. You could be sleeping more. And then this is all about listing everything that's different, as if you were, in the first moments of your relationship with this new person, you were courting this person, and you really had to get to know this person to see if it's possible to have a long-term relationship with this new self. Okay, so no pressure. This is really not a situation to feel, since your lesson is letting go of certain things, this is not really a situation to feel pressured about feeling better immediately, but it's almost about an investigative look you acquire over your own life and your own self. You see, for example, in the example I was giving of starting to make your own food, to prepare your own food, maybe this feels terrible right now because it reminds you of every time you went out to eat with this other person. But this could be profitable too. This could be like, I never thought I would be able to cook, a simple beans and rice. This is very, very common here in Brazil for us to eat beans and rice. But so you think I never thought I would be able to prepare food like that, even simple food, an egg, something like that. And this is something that could actually save me a lot of money, or this is something that can actually bring me pleasure. This is, when I consider hobbies, I would consider, going, I don't know, tennis, going bowling, things like that. And now this could turn into a new hobby. So this is about getting to know this new self. How is this new self expressing? Even when it comes to anger, maybe you used to be a very passive person or even passive aggressive person, and now you simply cannot control your anger. It doesn't mean that you need to condone with being angry about everybody and everything and then just discounting on other people. You can think about a way of doing this that's productive and not offensive, etc. If you can't at this time, please be gentle with yourself because you're grieving. But maybe if you were overly passive, or even if you were passive aggressive, you can find in this anger a reason to build a more empowered self that can express anger in a better way. Maybe this is your test drive with a different kind of anger, with a different kind of anger expression. Okay, so take a look at everything that's going on in your life in terms of very particular, very specific actions that steps that you're taking right now. Take a look at everything with curiosity, as if you were the person you wanted to date right now, and you really had to know this individual that is doing things that are seem completely out of the blue when considered from the perspective of the person you used to be before your loss. But that could be interesting. On the other hand, it's about taking an interest on the new person that you are right now because of this shipwreck, okay? Because this ship went down. This is the attitude that's being recommended here. Like, try to pay attention to whatever changes you see in your behavior, whatever new habits that show up, or new likes, new dislikes. Pay attention to it all and really soak in it. really go deep into the understanding of who this new self is, because this is what's going to take you to the next level, which is understanding everything that happened and truly letting go of what happened. Okay, so I hope this message has helped. If you liked it, please do not forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because it helps my channel like you would not believe. And I wish you all the very best. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. If you have chosen option number 5, this is your reading. And option number 5 brings this card here, which is Moonspawn. Okay, I hope you can see it properly. This is about a being that is a genderless being. Okay, and instead of a nose, this being has a moon here. This is a self-crowned creature, and it's a winged creature. Okay, and the name of the card is Moonspawn because its mother is the moon. Okay, so this creature here has its hands on a wall, and this wall is representing the threshold between the spiritual world and the physical world. So it's a card about expectation and excitement. It's like, we're almost there, we're almost there, we're moving towards our manifestations, towards the implementation of our most our best dreams and our most wished versions of reality. We really see everything gaining momentum. We really see like we're almost there, and we're excited about the adventure of life. Okay, why is this creature here? What does it represent, and why is it called Moonspawn? The sentence goes, I came from the moon, so now what? I came from the moon, so now what? This is about a moment in life when you realize your sacred origin, your sacred nature. You realize that you're not just another human being living on this planet. Because at a certain level, of course, you're another human being living on this planet. But at this specific moment in time, you realize the godly nature of all living creatures. You realize that everything and everyone is sacred, no matter what's happening at the moment, no matter what's going on at the moment. And because of that, when you say, I came from the moon, so now what? This now what is very excited. It's truly, I'm happy with the adventure of life. Your expectations now, they're open. You're not over controlling anything. You're not trying to manipulate anything. And you really see all of your experiences in life as positive opportunities of growth. Okay, so this is an amazing moment to be in. And what you're learning right now in terms of social skills is how to go about your everyday activities, and at the same time keep your connection to this wiser and broader perspective on what living really is. Okay, this is a tough challenge, because even if it's happy, even if I don't see a heavy vibe here, or you dealing with any kind of loss, what I see is that you already see yourself in a different way. You already see yourself as a new and sacred being. But sometimes when you're dealing with overly mundane tasks, it's just like, okay, how am I going to be, how am I going to do this? How am I going to, do these very mechanical and bureaucratic tasks and still feel truly blessed? How am I going to deal with everyday requirements and still feel like I'm sacred, etc.? This is totally understandable, and it comes from the fact that mostly when people talk about, feeling the connection with spirit, feeling the connection with understanding that you're a sacred being, things like that, we tend to imagine things that comes out of movies, representations of a sacred life. They're like, I need this these vests in white. I need this white light, being shed from behind my head. I need this halo going on, this halo thing going on. And then you have actually achieved a certain level of connection, a deeper level of connection with spirit in this card here. But things have not changed the way you expected. Things are not, shining bright all over the place. Things are not as spiritual as you would like them to be, or you would like them to. They're not showcasing spirituality in the way you've learned. So this is a card about simplicity. This is a card about truly knowing your worth and how sacred you are, and making this energy grow from the inside out, and understanding that it's not due to the fact that you have realized all of your potential right now, that you have actually understood how powerful you are, that everything is going to instantly change. You still have to go about this everyday exercise of trying to be the best version of yourself, in the sense of the most spiritual version of yourself, when taking your time, while taking your time with these mundane tasks. Okay, it's like spiritualized beings, they still have to pay their bills, they still have to go to the bank, they still have to deal with certain lines. Okay, they still have to wait in line, most certainly, and and they still have to deal with telecenters, okay, with people trying to solve your problems, your internet problems, your light problems, etc. All of this boring stuff. How can you make this stuff resonate in a different way? How can you bring happiness and this level of excitement to every single thing in your life, so that you do not waste any opportunity of raising your vibration, okay, in a very direct level? This is your challenge right now. And of course, nobody lives in this kind of sanctuary based spiritual life. Nothing affects me. This simply does not happen in the life of any person, okay? But if you're aware of your potential to raise your vibrations and to reach your dreams and to manifest whatever you want in life, so your focus now is not wasting time. Even if you're doing something very mundane and something that other people would consider boring, or even yourself would consider boring, you can always find ways of doing it in a more relaxed manner and feeling good about yourself. This actually will increase your intelligence, because you probably stop doing things that are unnecessary. You'll probably be able to see that that there are better ways, or more strategic ways, of dealing with this mundane stuff than you were capable of seeing before. Okay, what I see here is a process of transmutation, in the sense of, your true origin right now. You know that you are a part of spirit, a part of God, if you prefer, a part of the gods and goddesses in which you believe, experimenting in a physical body here. There's no true division between you and God, but you are in a physical body. And there's a reason for that. It's the only way the universe can expand. It's the only way the universe can experiment itself, is by occupying a body, okay, at a certain level. Overly simplifying what I'm talking about here, but okay, I think you get it. So of course you will be exposed to strictly physical human experiences that are not all what you would consider to be spiritual, or the representations we're making movies about what being a spiritual person is. It wouldn't be the least fun if we didn't experiment with those things either, okay? We are here, we have bodies, and this is important for our growth and for the universe as a whole in its expansion too. So there will be boring things. There will be things that do not seem so eerie and fairy, but they are as important to your experience as anything else, okay? And another thing that this card's talking about is this is a wonderful moment in terms of social skills to learn how to present yourself to other people from the most positive standpoint. So this is also a challenge because it's good when we get in touch with a higher version of yourselves, with our higher self, and then we are at home like I am right now thinking, oh my God, there are so many things that I can do, there are so many things I have to contribute with. I can see lots of collaborations, etc. But and then you meditate, and this is all wonderful. I see here that you are in this state like, oh my God, I'm a sacred being, and my energy is so high level right now, etc. Okay, but when you get in touch with other people, especially because all of us, even if we're not empaths, we have a certain level of empathy. Then when you get in touch with other people, we can mix our energy with their energy. We can read too much into their energies, and then it's kind of hard to keep this good vibration going. Okay, this is hard for everyone, but it can be especially hard for you here right now, because it's like you look at other people and you think, oh my God, they're worrying about money, they are worrying about materialistic things, and I just want to keep up with this vibing with the universe, you know, and they are kind of draining my energy. Okay, at this moment, what I see is not people draining your energy. I see that you need to adapt. The level of energy you are going to use or to employ in each activity in your life, and when you present to each person in your life, because not everyone will be ready to your level of openness to the world, or at least to the level of openness to the world that you are exhibiting right now. So it's all about adaptation. You don't need to lower your energy levels. You need to learn how to put some boundaries there. But more than putting boundaries, it's about understanding that not everybody is feeling like a sacred being right now, okay? Not everybody has just reached this point of enlightenment. And it doesn't mean that you're better than other people, because this moment you're living right now, you will have other challenges too. You maybe won't feel this peak of energy like a constant flow for the rest of your life. I really hope that you do, but this is only about a moment. So be patient with other people. Understand how much energy you can put in each person and a specific way of speaking and project and etc. And understand how you can collaborate. If your energy is so high, what can you actually do in order to help these other people raise up their vibrations too? But don't force it, don't push it, okay? And be patient with other people's perspectives on life, okay? You're not better than anyone else just because you understand that you're moon spawn right now. You understand that you're a sacred being. But of course, feeling like a sacred being can have disadvantages, and you can influence a lot of people who are able to hear your message, and at a moment right now when they are ready to hear your message, to understand that we're all spirits, not trapped in bodies, but happy to be in bodies and to help expand the universe's possibilities by being in bodies. And some people are going to be ready to hear that, and you can really influence their energy, and you can really use this energy also to start finding your soul family, people who are going to more easily vibrate with you right now, okay? But just remember that people are not obligated to understand you because you had this experience, because you had this enlightenment. A lot of people won't understand you, and it doesn't mean that they're less than you, that they're, they will have their own enlightenments. Maybe they already have, and then now they're just in a different moment in their life. So be patient, be mindful and thoughtful with other people, and try to practice. How is it that you can have this this new accumulated energy functioning on behalf of other people in the world without trespassing their boundaries. Okay, so I hope this message has helped. If you liked it, please do not forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe, suit yourself. All of these things helps my channel a lot. And well, I hope you liked the video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.